been burned, I've been broken, still I rise, yeah, the story's been spoken. Every scar just shows what I came through. I'm stronger now, and I shine brand new. The climb was steep, but I held on tight. Step by step, I found my light. Shots fired, but I keep moving, turn the pace, steady grooving. From the ashes, I'm reaching high, altitude living, I'm touching the sky. Shots fired, but I keep moving, turn the pace, steady grooving. From the ashes, I'm reaching high, altitude living, I'm touching the sky. Not my trauma, not my chains.
Welcome back to The Rise, From Ashes to Altitude, a living, breathing book tour based on my book, Shots Fired, a heroine's memoir. I'm your host, Tracy Lance, and through intimate conversations, behind-the-scenes storytelling, and powerful guest voices, we explore what it really means to rise from trauma, reclaim resilience, and turn wounds into wisdom. Each episode is a tour stop into a different part of the journey, from fire and bullets to forgiveness and elevation. Our mission is to create a space where vulnerability is honored, healing is possible, and every listener is reminded your story carries strength, your voice carries truth, and your scars are no longer wounds, they're beauty marks of survival that make you bulletproof. Today's episode brings us to our next stop on the Rise book tour, Phoenix, Arizona, a city that symbolizes rebirth, renewal, and transformation. Just like the mythical phoenix bird that rises from the ashes, stronger and more radiant than before. And in that same spirit of rising, we'll also reflect on our phenomenal and very first guest journey to Thailand, a trip that became a turning point in her story. In our last stop in Vegas and Mount Kilimanjaro, Tanzania, we talked about fear, mindset, and what it means to bet on yourself. Today, we're going even deeper into the heart of resilience itself. Today's episode is a first for me in so many ways. Did you hear me say my first guest? We're here for an exclusive conversation. It's not just another story of resilience. It's a conversation between a mother and daughter, and we're inviting you to listen in. I am so honored to have Marcy Bond joining me today. She's my heartbeat and my first true love, who changed my name twice to Mom and then Grammy. Marcy has been the photographer, editor, director, and producer of this podcast through her company, Charlie's Light Creatives. She's coming from behind the camera and on the couch next to me. So let's welcome Marcy.
Hi.
How does it feel, Marcy, to move from behind the camera to the couch with your mama?
I'm not going to pretend like this is within my wheelhouse. It feels like I'm doing something a little strange for a piece of change, for sure.
Strange for a piece of change. Well, this is our first real deep conversation about a topic that isn't easy to discuss. But I'm so grateful to have you join me on the couch today. We're going to be vulnerable, and we're going to share with all of you what it truly looks like to rise when life throws everything in your path. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. Marcy is the very definition of resilience. In the middle of uncertainty, she still managed to rise as a single mom, athlete, and a bright light in so many lives. She's faced one of life's toughest battles, stage 3C triple negative breast cancer, and found her own ways to cope, including leading her Boom flag football team through it all. Today, we'll talk about her journey, her insights, how the lessons from Shots Fired connect to her story. Welcome, Marcy.
Thank you, Mom.
So let's start from the beginning. I firmly believe that children choose their parents. So why do you think you chose me to be your mom?
I think I believe that children also choose their parents, but what I don't know that I believe is that soulmates choose each other. I think you have a lot of like parent-child duos, but not all those parent-child combinations will consider each other soulmates. But I consider you my soulmate.
Wow.
And so I don't necessarily think that in that aspect I chose you. I think God chose you for me because he knew you would like nurture me and foster me into the woman he wanted me to become. Because I don't know that any other mother would have been able to raise me the way you did, to just like foster me into all of my multifacets like you did. So I also think God thought super highly of you. So maybe he felt like there needed to be two of you in the world, because I do feel like we have a lot of similarities. Like everything that you are, all the best pieces of you, I have those.
I agree.
All the worst pieces of you, I have those too. But I think that you led the charge in like always making sure you were a better person, setting that example for me about how I could be better too. And so I think God just maybe wanted two of us.
Yes. I also think that I was blessed, and you were sent to me for a purpose, because you are definitely a reflection of me. So a lot of times you are able to hold that mirror up in front of me and tell me about myself that in a way that nobody else can.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would people be surprised to learn about you?
This is not comfortable to me. I think people go off of me just being so extroverted and so social and the life of the party and the loud one in the room, and think that this type of curated spotlight is going to be something that I'm comfortable with. It's not. Like, this type of situation will make me freeze up. I'll never forget Destiny Dance Company, Yelly and Kristen and Nia's dance company, asked me to host one of their first years of their recitals. And even I thought I could do it. I was like, oh yeah, I could do that. And when I got on that stage, I literally froze. Like, I have stage fright. So I think people would be surprised to know that I would prefer to be behind the camera, which is why I'm so good at that, than be in front of it. So when you asked me to do this, like instinctually, I wanted to say no, but doing this for you is an act of love.
Wow, that's another thing that we have in common, because this is not comfortable for me either. But you make it look so good. So, so let's dive into the book just a little bit. You were such a grounding force in the process of me writing Shots Fired. What was it like to help edit that book and revisit chapters? And tell us if you were surprised by anything that was said in the book or any parts of my story.
So the actual editing process was fine for me. Like, that comes second nature. Like, I can read through manuscripts, I can read through things and quickly find mistakes and like grammatical errors. That was the easy part. Reliving some of the things that you spoke about as they directly pertain to me, I think was a little bit difficult, but not difficult for me, more so difficult for me to like realize what you have gone through. That was hard for me. I think when you love somebody, you don't want to face the fact that they've been in pain. Like, that was hard for me. Like, some of the things I would read would really make me cry. It's like, my mom really went through that. And I think that was the struggle for me, like actually diving into your struggles. So I think up until that point, like, I had seen you as my mom,
right?
But that was one of the things that I did that made me see you like as the lady, as the woman, before kids, before being a wife. Like, you went through some actual things. And so I think more so than it being difficult, I was just really inspired by you, as I've always been. But just having it housed into one spot, that was, I don't know, it was an experience.
Yeah. Do you have one specific thing that you could think of right off?
One specific thing that's what surprised me?
In the book.
I didn't know you had a lesbo experience.
So when you read that, what was the first thing that came to mind?
I don't think I had anything that came to mind like from a judgy place. If anything, as I was reading it was more like, oh, this story is good. Like I was able to like take my mom out of it and enjoy the story as it was.
Right.
And then also when I read that, I was like, oh, okay. Reading that made me understand where I get some of my crazy from.
Right.
Like you don't always know where your crazy comes from, but it's like, oh, it's in you because it's genetic.
Yeah, and I think that if you read some parts of the story where I talked about the things that I've done and some of the crazy that I've done, even carrying you in utero, I think that some of that energy was transferred to you for sure. So I definitely agree that it was inherited. So I want to talk to you about your trip to Thailand. So it was sort of a freedom trip before the storm. So I wanted to know from you, when you took that trip to Thailand, what first brought that about?
My 35th birthday was approaching, and I don't know that I had like pre-planned this trip for so long. It kind of just popped into my head as something that I thought I would like to do. And then financially, the opportunity arose kind of out of nowhere, which I think was God's doing. It was like, here's this chance for you to go, and it's not going to be a financial strain, because unknowingly to me, I had already invested in a trip that didn't work out. And I was able to use the credit from that trip to fund my trip to Thailand. The timing just kind of worked out. And the reason I chose Thailand is because I have this fixation on elephants. Mm-hmm. And I think that comes from 2016 when Granny died. Elephants are known as the symbol for Alzheimer's because they have everlasting memories. And every time I would see an elephant, I would think of her. I just became obsessed with elephants.
Oh, and I never knew that.
Yeah, and as you know, like you can experience elephants in Asia and you can experience them in Africa.
Right.
Africa was double the price, so I chose Thailand.
Yes, it was.
And that's how I ended up choosing Thailand as where I wanted to go. On top of the fact that, as I recall, I probably saw some Instagram videos of elephants in Thailand, and that's how I landed on that spot for my trip.
Yeah, so I don't think it was planned out for a long time either. I think one minute you said, I'm going to Thailand for my 35th birthday, and it was coming up in a month or something like that.
Right.
So I think it was just like, I'm doing this and that's that.
Right.
So as we go from Phoenix to Thailand, and you stayed on an elephant sanctuary while you were there. Mm-hmm. Did that scare you at all? The fact that I'm going to be living amongst elephants?
No, it didn't scare me. I was very excited. I do feel this like otherworldly connection to elephants. So nothing about their size intimidates me. Nothing about them being wild animals scares me. I don't want to sound crazy, but I do feel like I'm like one with elephants. I feel the same way about water. Like when I'm with water, I feel like I become one with water. And so I feel the same way about elephants. It didn't scare me. I was excited.
Yeah. So Thailand is known as the land of smiles. It sits in the heart of Southeast Asia. It's a place of breathtaking contrast, from golden temples and sacred Buddha statues to serene beaches and lush jungles, of which you were amongst it all. I remember seeing the most beautiful pictures of you posing with the elephants, and I mean living right along with them in their habitat. In the mud, you were in the mud waters. You have pictures of bathing in the mud with the elephants, and it's quite impressive because I don't think that I could have done that. It seemed to me when you were in Thailand, you found some rhythm, peace, so to speak. You were playing water balloons with the locals in Thailand. You got tattoos. You flowed right along with the culture. You were right there with them, and you just fit right in. You weren't hesitant or reluctant to hang out. You just went there and just dove right on in.
Yeah, I think my friends and family were more reluctant about me traveling that far of a distance by myself than I ever was. I was not afraid. I was not nervous. The Thai people embrace you. They never made me feel alone. If you tell them you're alone, they're like, oh, okay, well, come with me. Let me show you this local bakery. And then you're like, is this safe?
Right.
But I had done a lot of research before going about like the safest places to travel for women alone, and Thailand was like number one on the list.
Wow.
On top of that, I'm a very tall woman. Like, I'm a tall, full figure woman, and the Thai people are small.
Yes,
like,
they
it would have took like three men to try to take me down and sex traffic me. So I wasn't afraid in that aspect either. Like, I did become one with them. I even as you were like describing Thailand and the atmosphere, like I started to get a little emotional because I miss them. Like, those are my people.
Yeah.
And so, it was definitely a very rewarding experience, rewarding cultural experience. And I can't wait to go back.
Yeah. I can't wait to go back too. Or I can't wait to go. Speaking of the culture, they, from what I've read, they are deeply rooted in mindfulness and respect and the belief that life is to be savored, even through change.
Yeah, you have to take your shoes off before you enter indoors. Like,
like hotels and restaurants.
Not hotels and restaurants. I don't know how they define the spaces you have to take them off. But like when I went to get my tattoo, I had to take off my shoes at the door.
Oh, yeah.
They just value life. They're very spiritual people.
Yeah, I could tell, and that's what I've read. So, and they pride themselves on that spirituality and spiritual awakening. But to celebrate your 35th birthday, what did that whole entire experience teach you about yourself?
I don't know if it taught me anything more so than it reinforced what I knew to be true about me, which is that I'm brave.
Yep.
I'm adventurous. I don't need anybody to live the life that I want to live. I don't have to wait on people to be ready. I can just get up and go. And it's one of those things where, like, if you want to come with me, come on. If you don't, you don't. I don't necessarily even think I opened that trip up for people to come. I think I wanted to do something for me that was totally for me and only considerate of me for once in my 35 years. I think I learned more about why I had to go on that trip.
Yep.
More afterwards than what I realized was happening during the trip. I think God knew what he was doing.
Yep.
I've also had the experience to skydive. And I know you've never been skydiving. And
just simulate it.
If you have been skydiving, you know that you hop out of the plane and it's pure chaos. And you're like, what did I do?
Yeah.
I'm on a suicide mission. It's loud. Like, the wind is loud. It's smacking you in the face. All your facial features are pulled back. And you're like, I'm about to die. What was I thinking? I'm sorry, God. Like, let me take it back. And then when they release the parachute, all of that noise quiets.
Yes.
And it's like you flying like a bird, and it's the most serene. It's like mute. Yes. And it's the most serene experience, and you just coasting through the air. And that's when you realize this was the best decision I could have ever made. I'll never get this experience again because it was my first time doing it. I know people make a habit out of skydiving, they get the experience all that, but it's nothing like that first time.
Nope.
And that's like more so like a backward experience I had. Like, first it was the chaos, and then it was the serenity. With Thailand, and then my diagnosis that came later, it was like the serenity came first.
Yes.
And then the chaos.
In the spirit of this being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, right before you left to go to Thailand was when you found the lump. Can you talk about that?
I can try. Yeah, it was weird. I found the lump maybe 2 days before I was expected to leave for my trip. And I found it in the shower. I was washing as I normally do, washing under my breasts. And then I just felt this hard little nodule under there. And it just caught me off guard. It caught me by surprise. Like, whoa, what is that? That don't feel right. And I thought it was strange because I hadn't felt it the day before. Like, I shower the same way every single day. So it just seemed like it just like popped out of nowhere. And then I think the first thing I did was called you.
Yep. I'll never forget it.
I was like, I think I found a lump, but I don't know. I'm not like, or I try not to be a panicker. So it's just kind of like, I'm not going to think the worst. And then I think you were like, well, do you want me to feel it for like a second opinion? I was like, yeah, probably. That's a good idea. After you felt it and it was hard, you said, okay, yeah, you need to go get that looked at.
It was not in an easy place to feel either. It was very hidden away. Do you feel like that?
No. I don't feel like it was hidden away at all. I feel like it was right here, like on the breast line of the bone, which is usually, it's just like the normal way it feels, just like a hollow pit. But this felt like hot, like if you moved your finger across it, you would go over the hump of the lump.
Right.
And so then after you agreed that there was a lump, I called the doctor, and they were trying to get me scheduled like after I came back from my trip, and I was like, nah, I think y'all should like feel it now. Like, I just wanted the peace of mind leaving for the trip. And then when I went to the doctor, she confirmed like, yes, this is a lump. We're going to have to get this biopsied and looked at. And then I was like, all right, schedule all of that after my trip. Like, yes. I'm not going to worry about that.
And I was so happy you did that, because I couldn't imagine you being there and getting a call from a doctor with whatever they found, and then you being 17 hours away and by yourself. So I was happy you made the decision to address it after you came back.
Right.
So after you came back from this peace-filled trip, a symbol of freedom, and you had this amazing adventure and just such a fun-filled time, you came back to that diagnosis. And when you found out and they confirmed for you the diagnosis, tell me about the first thing that just went through your mind.
It's hard to describe. I think it was more so like a feeling than anything going through my mind. Like, the room just became a little deafening.
Right.
Because when you have the type of breast cancer that I have, it's just like one piece of bad news after the other. Because I do feel like women who have hormonal positive breast cancer, it's just like you have breast. I don't want to speak on it because I don't know much about it. But from what I understand, you have this hormonal positive breast cancer, and then it's like, let's treat it. With triple negative, it's like these receptors are, I don't even know the proper medical terms. It's just like, they test you in 3 areas, and you want those tests to come out well. You want them to be positive or whatever the case. And mine, she just kept saying bad news after bad news.
Yep.
I can't even tell you the proper medical term. I don't know. I tuned out. I just knew she was saying, we would have wanted this to be here, but yours is here.
Right.
Now let's move on to the next thing. We would have wanted you to be here, but sorry, yours is here. And it's just kind of like, dang, can I get any good news?
Right. Right.
So it just seemed like everything became deafening, and after that, I only had one question: is that am I gonna die?
Right.
Like, and I asked her,
yeah, that you flat out asked that.
Look, I don't all this other stuff you talking. That's cool, but you just let me know if I'm gonna die.
Right. So then, what was the journey from that point that you left from the hospital receiving that diagnosis? What was life like after that for you? What transpired?
Survival, I would say. Every single day, even up until this day, has purely been about survival. Mm-hmm. It's like when soldiers get dispatched out to Iraq for war. Yep. And every day for them is like survival. And then when they come home, they can have a little bit of relief. I don't feel like I've come home yet.
Nope.
I still feel like I'm at war.
Yeah. So as you know, of course, you mentioned Africa and my trip to Kilimanjaro, not knowing the reason why I was summoned there until after the trip. So for me, my Mount Kilimanjaro trip was, the climb, and it represented confronting my fears and reclaiming my strength and doing all of the things. It was very prophetic. And I believe it built that spiritual muscle for me that I needed to endure your diagnosis. Do you think that your trip to Thailand represented something similar for you as it did for me in Africa?
Not really. I think my trip to Thailand was more so like, you've had a great 35 years of life, and now that 35 years has come to its end. And we're going to end it on a bang, and you're going to end it in a great way. And that's going to be the gift that God gave me for those first 35 years. Because cancer wasn't my first thing that I had to go through in life. Like, there was a lot of stress and trauma before then. But I do think Thailand was God's way of saying, let's close out this chapter in a beautiful way. And now you're going to start over. You're going to start anew next 35 years.
Yeah. Wow. So you don't think that trip spiritually prepared you, or even now up to this point? I know there's a lot that's gone on from the time you came back from Thailand to even today. So even like, do you even think about your spiritual experience in Thailand at all, or is your mind just on something totally different now?
I think my mind has been on something totally different, because I haven't even like revisited my experience in Thailand mentally. Like, I have a lot of footage. Mm-hmm. I have a lot of pictures. I never even got the chance to like indulge in those things once I got back. Because once I got back, it was all doctors, yeah. treatment. While Thailand was an excellent trip, I also tie it to escapism a little bit, because it's like, I just want to go back. Like, yes. I was in Thailand before my life changed so dramatically.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I had the experience of Thailand, but like, I do feel like when you get back from a trip like that, you can kind of like indulge in that experience a little bit and be like, wow, I'm in awe of what I just experienced. I never got to do that. Right. So in a sense, I do feel like I was like robbed a little bit in the aftermath. And maybe one day I'll like be able to reflect on my spiritual experience in Thailand and do all of that. I just haven't had the time.
Right.
It's been a year.
It's been a year. Let me get you some tissue.
Thanks.
You mentioned going from Thailand to treatment and then to triumph. Do you even feel triumphant now?
No.
So you still going through, what was the hardest part of your treatment? What was the part that tested you mentally, spiritually, and emotionally?
Chemotherapy, yes, it kills all the cancer in your body and it's meant to help you, but it also strips you of everything you knew to be true about yourself. Both physically, mentally, emotionally. It strips you down to nothing. So, like, in what way? Like, I know you know yourself to be strong, resilient, independent, and those types of things. You have a very high social life, very active social life. What part of that experience changed for you, and how did it change? Chemotherapy, cancer. You can know yourself to be those things, but it's going to look you in the face and say, are you really? It obviously took away my hair. It took away my healthy skin. It gave me all types of side effects like heart palpitations, I was premenopausal at 35 years old. It hibernated me. Like after I would have chemotherapy treatments, I would go into this deep sleep for 2 to 3 days.
Yep.
It gave me severe fatigue, like chronic fatigue. And so I was just tired all the time. So even if I wanted to resume my normal social life or do things that I liked doing, sometimes I would, but it would be a task. Figuring out them wigs. My body was like severely bloated because you have to take a steroid while you're on treatments, and that increases your appetite. Like I did not get the skinny kind of cancer, which what is God on with me? Because I could have at least got the skinny type of cancer. Right. But I had to take a steroid that increased my appetite. So I was gaining weight, not losing weight. My face was just, everything is like inflamed and swollen. I don't even remember the question. I just know, I think it was what was the hardest part of treatment.
What and how did it affect you mentally, physically, emotionally, and how did things change for you? But you answered it. Was there any point during that process that you just wanted to give up?
Yeah. Yeah. Every day.
But in what way give up? Give up treatment? Just say I don't want to do this because of the way that this made me feel? Because you had how many chemo treatments?
I think 6 total. And
then you had to, and it wasn't a regular chemo treatment. They kind of doubled up on you.
Yep, because I was on the Scarlet clinical trial.
Yep.
No, I never wanted to give up on treatment. That was the part of me. Like this is my journey has always been like double linear, like 2 things being true at one time. So yes, it was true that I never wanted to give up on treatment. I wanted to fight as hard as I could. But then it was also true that it was like, if I'm doing all of this and it doesn't work and my cancer stays or comes back, then I might as well just, my life should end right now.
Right. Who kept you going? When there were those moments that you felt like giving up, who or what were the things that you grasped on and said, for this reason, I got to keep fighting?
I think it would be hard for me to name names because I feel like the entire city of Chicago showed up. I feel like if I had ever been connected to you in any way, people from 2nd grade who you just happen to be friends with on social media, who you never talked to in real life, showed up. Kristen set up a GoFundMe. I looked at the donors. It was just like, what? I used to sit I used to play on the playground in 4th grade with him when he donated. So in that aspect, I think everybody connected to me as a whole kept me going. But if I did have to get specific, my family, obviously you were incredible, like a true superhero. Like I do feel like you showed up and like picked me up when I couldn't pick myself up. And you showed up even when I was like, no, like when I was super resistant to it. You showed up in ways where like I wouldn't necessarily know what I needed, but you were there to give it to me anyway. Yeah. So you really stood in the gap in that aspect. So I think that goes without saying. But my closest friends at the time, Kristen, obviously. Yep. And I'm grateful to her because Kristen was showing up for me going through her own stuff. And I think that means a lot. Like this person is actually sacrificing themselves to support you. Yep. And then Rashida, Lindsay, and Jasmine, I don't even know how they're still friends with me, to be honest. Kristen is one of those friends where like, I know she's not ever going anywhere. Like it don't matter. Like that's my soulmate. That's my sister. Right. But I still have these developing, growing relationships with some of my other friends who I've been friends with since I was pregnant with Charlie. I would say going on 8 years. Rashida's probably one of my newer friends, but still close. Have grown a close relationship to her in the last 3 years, but they were just my core group of friends during the time, and so they got to see a lot of the ugliness that a lot of other people didn't see because I would protect them from it. But they got to see a lot of ugliness and still accepted me and met me where I was at on that journey. There were times I would even take things out on them. Not on purpose, obviously. Like, your mind, you literally lose your mind. Like, and it didn't happen often.
Right. I do think that because they knew who you were, they knew your spirit and your soul before the diagnosis, so they knew that they could hang their hat on the genuine nature of who you are. So that's why when the tough got going, they didn't leave. You know, sometimes I read a lot where you could lose friendships, you lose people because of the ups and downs and the highs and lows and the out of body experiences and the taking things out on everybody. You lose friendships. But I think that they could hang their hat on the genuine nature of who you were, and they were there just like I was through thick and thin, getting yelled at. You don't come over here. I'm standing outside of windows waving up like I don't have to come in, Mars, but I'm out here if you need me, sitting on your porch. Those highs and lows where people will let you know that I'm here for you no matter what. So when you think of Phoenix rising from ashes, where we are setting this podcast up for today, what do you think about? What does that mean for your life and your purpose?
It's hard for me to answer that right now just because I still feel like I'm living in the ashes.
Where are you in the journey now?
So I have been declared cancer free. I finished treatments over the summer. The thing with cancer though is that you feel like you are done with treatments and with all the doctor's appointments, and you aren't really ever. Because right now I do feel like I'm looming in the interim between finishing injection treatments and then needing another surgery. I recently decided I do want to proceed with a double mastectomy. Mostly just for my peace of mind, because my PTSD tells me every time I open my eyes, feel for a lump. And I'm tired of waking up like that. So my choice for a double mastectomy, which people have imposed their opinions on me of don't do that, but I'm doing it because I do feel that's what's best for me mentally. To mentally be able to tell myself, you've removed all your breast tissue, so it's less likely to return, is going to be healthy for me and my peace of mind, I feel like.
So we talked about community and the people who surrounded you, but I want to talk about your football community. Marcy plays flag football for Boom, and after you've gone through that rut or that 2 to 3 day downside of post chemo, you would be right back out there on the field. So can you talk about your just playing football, what even started that, and then how your football community showed up and showed out for you as well? I love my team. I started playing football back in 2015 when my league was formerly known as CBL. And that's how I met Charlie's dad. And then I accidentally got pregnant, had a baby, and I had to leave the league. That was a joke. You were supposed to laugh. I did laugh.
But then I returned. I thought I would be interested in rejoining the league in 2020, during the pandemic. I didn't necessarily click with the team, but shout out to Hard to Guard. Those are my friends. So I left again, but then I went through a tumultuous 3-year very abusive relationship. And once I got out of that relationship, I was like, I need to do something with myself. Like, I don't necessarily like going to the gym, but I know I like moving my body. Like, I do like exercising when I like it. Like, I love Zumba. I love any type of like aerobic dance fitness.
And a very good Zumba instructor, by the way.
Oh my God, I be playing. So flag football was definitely a way for me to keep moving my body throughout the week, because you have practice and then you have games. So that's the main reason why I rejoined the league. And then my friend, connected me with the team that I'm on now, and Boom has become part of my identity. Yes. I love my team. I love the core group of people on my team. We always seem to recruit the best people on the team, and it really did keep me going. Like, my team was another set of people that I was totally comfortable around to be myself. Or like when I had to wear wigs, when I didn't have hair. The guys on my team are so funny. Like, I would just ask them, like, does this look fake? And they'd be like, a little bit. Like, they just so honest. So, like, Boom definitely filled my cup up during the time and showed up and showed out and supported me. And, I'll never forget that time, because we even got new jerseys. And Zay, the captain of my team, he made sure to get the ribbons in my honor on the jerseys. A couple of my teammates threw like a breast cancer awareness event. They set up a tent and decorated, which I'll never forget. I'll always cherish them doing those things for me. So, it's interesting even watching you play. When we go out there on the field, I still cannot believe that you are out there playing even if it's flag football. To me, it's still football. Your brothers Jordan and JJ, they played football from Pee-wee all the way up through high school, and you and I would go to the games, but I never in a million years imagined you playing the game. Do you think some parts of that is what instilled in you the love for the game, and you probably didn't even know it then? Yeah, probably. Like, I've always been like, if boys can do it, girls can do it.
Yeah.
I know that flag football has like entered into the high schools now as of like 2020, 2021. Yeah. I wish so badly that we had it back then, because I would have loved to be like an athlete in this sport earlier in my life. But I'm so happy I'm afforded the opportunity to do it in my adult life.
Yeah.
I'm not the best athlete. I'm not the best at it, but I'm pretty good at what I like. I can catch a ball. You know what I mean? Right. So I know that I'm like an asset to my team in that way, but I just love it, and I'm going to do it as long as my body is able to do it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Would you consider football as being one of your coping mechanisms when you go through those rough patches?
Yes and no. Yes, definitely. I think so I'm a mom who believes like every mom needs an identity outside of her children.
Yep.
I'm not a wife yet, but even wives, like I feel like you need an identity outside of your husband. Like I think it's very important to not forget who you are. Like, who is the woman that you are? What do you do for yourself? Yep. Football is totally one of those things that I do for myself. Yes. During football season on Sundays, I drop Charlie off at this door and I'm gone. I don't even walk her to the door. She got in safe. Okay, I'm out of here.
Car is going down the street.
And I spent every Sunday at that field from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. I do that for myself. Football has definitely, the community, my friends that I have made, definitely, they are my escape. That's what I really do for myself. And it can be very healthy, but I think it could also be a bit of a toxic environment. You can't get so submerged in it. Like, we are exposed to 750 people more or less in that league, and a lot of people will say like the league is fake, the people are fake, the people are not your friends. But I think I would turn the mirror back on those people and say, well, why do you expect to have meaningful relationships with 750 people?
Right.
Like, I think you have to be comfortable knowing like not everybody is your cup of tea. You're not going to make those meaningful, lasting connections with that amount of people. You're not even going to make those meaningful connections with half that amount of those people. And so, yeah, I do think football has been my escape and has like been very positive for me. But I also think I have to draw boundaries sometimes to say, all right, these people don't have it all.
Yep.
And I can't get so consumed and so tied up in these people, or let it affect my mental.
Right.
So yes and no, like too much of anything is not good for you.
That's right. So as a mom to Charlie and Avery, I know being a single mom is not easy. I watch you do it every single day. So can you tell us a little bit about them?
Oh my God. Yeah, I have the best kids. I have the best kids ever. And I mean that kind of selfishly, because they are not troublesome children. Like, and I don't know that I could give myself credit for that. I could give our community and our village credit for that. But they are so different. Like Avery, he just turned 15. His voice is deep.
Yep.
He's into girls. He's a jock at school. He plays basketball. He plays football. But his demeanor is so calm. He loves his friends. Like, I love seeing him around his friends because it's the most outgoing I ever see him.
Yep.
He's such an easygoing child. Avery's just not a troublesome child. Like, no. He's very chill. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I just appreciate him and his personality. I do feel like he's the perfect son for me.
Yeah.
And then Charlie is the complete opposite. Like, she is wild. She's just this little ball of energy. She has this personality that is just undeniable. Like, if you know Charlie, you love Charlie. She just turned 8. 8 is probably one of my favorite ages because she's like coming into being exactly who she wants to be. Like, I know who I want to be. I know who I am. And I do give my kids room to be vocal and be themselves and challenge me. And she does. She takes advantage of that. So, yeah, I have 2 kids on the total opposite ends of the spectrum, but they are the perfect balance of kids for me.
Did you eventually tell them what you were going through?
Yeah. So I told them, I was honest with them about everything along the way. I don't think they really understood the like magnitude of what having a cancer diagnosis meant. I just think they were more so in tune with what was going on once they saw the physical changes. Right. And they were just kind of like, is you cool? Like, are you okay? But yeah, they handled everything very well. They were both super helpful. What do you need, mommy? And then a lot of the times when I was going through like the thick of it, they were with you. So, or Avery was with his dad. And so I didn't really want them around while I was like super sick. Right. So hopefully I was able to protect them a little bit from those things. But yeah, they handled everything like troopers. They were there for me, super supportive. Yeah, they were my biggest fear. Like, I had a lot of fears. I have a lot of fears, but my number one concern was them, and just like, oh my God, what have I done? Like, I brought these children into the world and now they may have to go through life without me. Yeah. That still terrifies me. Yeah. Yeah. Just to think about, just even the thought of it is very hard to even think about. But when you have a diagnosis like that, I guess that's one of the first things that come to mind. What for the most part, from what they did see you go through, what do you think, or what are you hoping that they got from that and learned from that experience? I hope they were able to absorb the idea that, like, if you are a good person, people will show up for you. Yep. If you they are good people. Yeah, if you show up for others and you love them and you're giving and you would give the shirt off of your back for them and you support them when they are going through things, or you support good or bad, like just be a supportive family member, a supportive friend, that will be reciprocated to you.
Yeah.
And they did see it. Like, they would see the flowers come in the mail. They would see the gifts people would send. They would see all the meals come through. And not only did people show up for me, they showed up for them too.
Yeah, they did.
I don't think I ever received a gift during that time where they didn't include something
right.
for Avery and Charlie, especially my friend Ariana. Saint.
Yep.
A true saint. I'm not even going to talk about her because I will cry, and I don't feel like crying. She always had something in the bag for Avery and Charlie, and they loved it. They were like, "Ooh,
yeah."
When something would come, it'd be like, "What's in there for me?"
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Thank you everybody for that.
So, speaking of others and coming through and sending flowers, what are some of the things that you hope people who have not ever gone through the cancer journey understand about what it means to live through cancer?
It's not about anybody else other than the person that's going through it.
Right.
And I know that's a hard concept for people to grasp, because when cancer is affecting the person who's going through it, offense will arise. If that person wants to be left alone, it's like, "Oh, you don't want to be around me?" No, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
When that person doesn't want an encouraging word for that day, and you send one and they don't respond, "Oh, she didn't even respond to my encouraging word for the day." It's not about you. You have to be able to, as best you can, take yourself out of the equation. And you can't expect that person to know what they want or need. Like, I've never gone through cancer either.
Yeah.
So it's my first time going through it. It's probably your first time going through it. I don't know. So you have to be flexible and be able to ride the waves with that person.
Right.
If you would call me during my cancer diagnosis and my treatments, you're like, "What you want to eat?" And I'm like, "Bring me a turkey sandwich." And you bring me a turkey sandwich, and I throw it at the wall and say, "I don't want this turkey sandwich. I want a piece of chicken." And you like, "You said get the turkey sandwich." It's like, I don't know what I want or need. You become a very finicky person. And so I would just say, if you are somebody who has to go through that journey with somebody, just be really flexible, be really open-minded, and be really quick to adjust and adapt.
But you did a very, very good job at telling people what you needed from us, all of us. It didn't matter who we were. This is what I need. And a lot of times when I didn't even agree and I knew you needed something different, in the subtle ways, we came through for you and gave you what you need, and respected your desires and, the I call them the rules that you set forth, the boundaries, I should say. And I think a lot of people did a good job respecting, because I set up a group me for all of your friends and tried to keep you as less stressed as possible, because the texts and the phone calls and all of the messages started just coming in. And, just having people to respect your wishes during that time made me respect your group of friends even more. So, and I remember you telling me, while you were going through the journey, maybe I'm going through this, so maybe you wouldn't have to go through this. And I think that was so powerful, because at the same time, I felt like if I could take this away from you and go through this journey for you, I would. And I was not just saying that. If it was like getting an organ donor to take your organ and put it in me, I would have gladly done that at any time. And that's exactly what The Rise is about. It's the beauty of that generational healing. And this path, watching you go through this, that path just reminded me that pain doesn't end with us. It transforms through us. And so when you think about resilience and how resilient your mom is and how resilient other people in this family is, how resilient you are, do you credit that to the family you've come from, or where do you think that level of resilience that you have and that you had going through that journey, where do you think that comes from?
Well, I think it definitely comes from the family that I come from. I think we come from a family. So 2 parts to this question. there's an origin, and then there is what sustains it. So the origin is the family.
Yeah.
We come from a family full of women who have just had to carry everything on their backs. We don't have a lot of men in our family. We have my dad, Lance, and we have Uncle Red.
Yep.
And then we have like our brothers and cousins, obviously the next generation. I guess I should have said we don't have a lot of elders who are men in our family. And so, yeah, I think there are genetics, and then you just pick up on certain patterns and behaviors from those who came before you. And one of those things is strength and resilience. And if you fall off the horse, you pick yourself back up on it and keep it going. And so that's definitely the origin of it. Like, I get all of my strength from observing you growing up as a single mom, and all the things you had to carry while also carrying 3 children on your back at the same time. If you grow up around a woman like that, you don't have a choice.
Right.
Like, there is no excuse for you to be able to push through when life gets hard. And the second part is what sustains that is God. Like, I know that I did not get through this past year off of my own strength.
Yep.
Some days I wake up, and some days I'm able to accomplish things, and I don't know how I did it.
Right.
Because those days are rare. Like, those days are the anomaly. There are more days where I am just stuck, and I'm numb, and I'm inefficient, and I'm not as productive as I'd like to be, because my mind is just not healthy all the time.
Right.
So there are good days and there are bad days, but when I get through those good days, I know that it was God lifting me up and saying, we gonna get this done.
Yeah.
Because if it were up to me, I might sit in my own sorrow and like feel sorry for myself. But every day is different.
Yeah. So let's talk about the responses that you receive from people. This is probably the funny part. What are some of the things that you that people said to you, or that gestures that people made that helped you during your journey? And then I'm going to ask you the flip side to that.
I think the most helpful people were the ones who truly respected my boundaries and didn't take it personal.
Yep.
There were a lot of times I didn't want anybody to say anything to me. I think people will be surprised to know that the most impactful people to me were the ones that didn't say anything.
Right.
Like, I appreciate those people, because it's like I trust and believe and know that you're there for me if I reach out.
Yeah.
But you know that you don't have to hound me. And so for me, it might have been what people didn't say that actually helped me the most. Ja would send me a pink heart emoji. She wouldn't say words. And she was like, you don't ever have to respond. When I send this pink heart, I just know I'm thinking about you.
Yeah.
So I would be sick in the bed. I would just come back from throwing up, and I would come back to a pink heart. And I didn't have the strength or energy to respond. I just knew she was thinking about me.
Yeah.
It's like the small things, I think, made the biggest impact of support on me.
Yeah.
Not to say that the loud things didn't. It was just like the tiniest little gestures meant so much to me and were super helpful.
Yeah.
For me.
So the flip side, well-meaning people, where you said that was not helpful at all. Because I had that happen to me when you were going through the journey. Well-meaning people saying things that just like, this is not the right thing to say. What are some of the things that people said that just wasn't helpful for you? or did
My pink sister, you are in the sorority that nobody wants to be in. Like, come on. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. That was said to me, but it was just kind of like, all right. One other thing that stands out is, I don't know who I was talking to. I really don't know, or else I would probably bust that person out right now. But I was just maybe venting and was like, I just don't understand, like, why me? And then they said, well, why not you? it's just like, why not you? I don't know. What do you mean? Why not me? I don't know. I get it. After they explain, I'm sure there was some depth to what they were saying and why they said that. But in the moment, it's just like, let me be the one to say, like, I did, like you said earlier, I did say, like, maybe me, so it wouldn't be anyone around me that I care about, because maybe that would have been harder on me,
right?
Having to watch somebody I love go through that. But you don't have to say it,
right? Let me say it,
right? Let me say it. And then this was totally not purposeful, but my group of friends did send me a funeral bouquet. Jasmine, Lindsay, Rashida. I got a call from the florist, and they were trying to make sure I was gonna be home. And I'm like, hello? What? They're like, yes, we're just trying to make sure you're home for the funeral arrangement delivery. And I was like, what funeral? What are you talking about? And she was like, yes, we're delivering the funeral. She kept saying funeral. And I was like, look, lady, this sounds like somebody's trying to send me some flowers, but I'm not dying. There is no funeral. She's like, I'm so sorry. This is just the name of the package. I'm like, y'all need to change the name of that.
Change the name, make it general.
I don't know if I ever told them that. Did I? I don't know if I ever told them that.
Well, they're here.
They're gonna know now.
They're gonna know now. So, if you could give somebody advice, somebody who's newly going through the journey, newly diagnosed, you touched on it earlier, but what would you say to a person who's going through this for the first time?
That's a hard question for me to answer, mostly because I never set out to like be so inspiring about my cancer journey. I don't want to be a breast cancer advocate, and that might change one day. But as of right now, I want to forget that this ever happened.
Yeah,
I don't identify with the life of a cancer patient. I be saying that was AI. Like, I don't know.
You said that the other day.
That was AI. Like, that was not me. But if I have to dig deep, it's even hard for me to say it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Cause is it? I think that comforts us to be so positive, but I do think there is such thing as toxic positivity. Like, and you can encourage yourself, and you can be encouraged, but the reality of it is every day is scary.
Yeah.
I would say find something every day to hold on to. Just find something to hold on to, even if it's small. A show on Netflix.
Yes.
A walk. It was a lot of times I used to go sit in the park at a bench by myself, phone off. And I would lay my head on the bench, and the birds would be chirping, and the geese would be going by. And I would just stare off into space. Like, just find something to hold on to every single day.
Yeah, because did you do that prior to the diagnosis? Did you just go and be one with nature?
I mean, sometimes. I think during the diagnosis, I did obviously a lot more.
Yeah.
And yes, it's okay to be positive. It will be okay. Everything always turns out okay, right? But I don't want to use those types of cliche phrases to negate what that person would be feeling, which is, this fucking sucks. Like, sorry for cursing.
Yep.
But it sucks. And there's no getting around that. Like, it's trash to have to go through that.
Yeah.
I do believe that it's for a reason. I do believe that it's for a purpose. Have I found my purpose yet? I don't think so. But I do look forward to the moment where it becomes more clear for me. Like, oh, this is why I had to go through this. Because things will become more clear as time goes on. Mm-hmm. Like, why I feel like I've been stuck in my corporate job for 7 years.
Right.
Oh, I was going to get diagnosed with cancer. I was going to need my health insurance.
Right.
Like, things always make sense and come together, and you have that aha moment.
Yeah.
And it will come. But in the meantime, do what you need to do to survive for you. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what that looks like to other people. Oh, well.
Yep.
Oh, well. It's about you, what you're going through. It's about survival, and it's about you getting from one moment to the next, one day to the next.
Yep.
It doesn't matter whose feelings get hurt in the process. You are in survival mode, and you stay in that mode as long as you possibly need to.
And that's good. That's good. What are you most grateful for?
I mean, I'm obviously grateful to be alive. I am. I don't want to like come off like I'm ungrateful for that. The quality of life, it could be better.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fear. I feel like death looms over me. I feel like the fear of cancer coming back looms over me. I do feel like I could have a better quality of life, but that's up to me.
Yep.
It's totally up to me and what I want the rest of my life to look like. Whether that's a year, whether that's another 36 years. It's up to me.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for the opportunity to make the rest of my life what I want it to be.
So then that brings us to this question. What is next for you personally, spiritually, and creatively?
I think when you come face to face with death, you do start to question your purpose a lot. And before I leave this world, whenever that is, I do want to see myself have a TV show on the screen.
Yeah.
I've never actually outwardly said that confidently, but I like being bold about it because I do think there is power in that boldness.
Put it in the universe.
Yeah, and I think saying it leaves room for people to hold you accountable to it. Like, I want to see a TV show on the screen. I want to write for TV. I always have, but now, again, I think I had to go through this experience to have more material because I want to write a cancer comedy.
Yeah.
I want to write TV dramas. Like, that's what I want to do. I just started diving into sports photography. I did not know I would love it.
Yeah.
I did not know how hard it was. Like, shout out to all those sports photographers because it's hard because if you miss that moment, you can't get it back. And then if you get the moment and if it's out of focus and it's blurry, you can't get it back. So it is a challenge. Like, portrait photography, I could just tell the family, like, let's do that again. Smile.
Yeah.
Sports photography, you can't get it back. But when you get it, ooh, when you get the moment and it's in focus, it's like, I don't know, so rewarding. So because I've been working with the high school girls flag football team at King, shout out to them. I love them. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's made me wonder, like, could I actually get into this for real, like on a higher level?
Yeah.
And so those are two like creative directions I'd like to go in the near future. And personally, just surviving. Like I said, getting through every day, getting back to being a healthier version of me, and just being a good mom. That's all I want to do.
Yeah, that made me think about when you were in college, you did guerrilla theater. Mm-hmm. You used to write a blog about the girls.
Oh, yeah.
Way long. I mean, you know, many years ago that I thought was so super fantastic. Not because you were my daughter, but because you were so good at it. You have a way with words, that behind the scene writing scripts. Mm-hmm. And I know one day you're going to take my book and make me famous. And in the process, make you famous.
Yeah.
Because you are so good. You are a creative. You're in your soul. You are a creative. So I think creatively, whatever you put your mind to, whatever you set out to do or to be, I think you would just be super fantastic at it.
Thank you.
Even your photography work. Did I mention you're a professional photographer?
I think we kind of touched on it.
But the professional photographer, the professional photos that you guys see of me out there is always a product of Charlie's Life Photography, and I'm always looking so fabulous. But not to get off on a tangent.
Well, wait, before you switch gears, I just want to say, I remember the moment I knew I wanted to be a creative in my life. I was super little. Well, first of all, I always loved coloring. Yeah. I always loved a dark outline of the color and then coloring it in lighter.
Yes.
But I remember I had some school project. I don't know what I had to make, but you took construction paper, a red construction paper and a green construction paper, and you made this rose. And then you took a marker and like drew in the petal. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
It was the most perfect rose.
What?
it like, I don't know, it's one of those things that really stuck with me. I was like, I want to do stuff like that. Like, I want to make beautiful things like that. So that's where my creativity was birthed, I feel like, after you helped me with that school project. And it was the most beautiful, perfect rose. I think we kept it for some years after that. I don't know what happened to
I
it.
probably still have it somewhere.
Yeah, you probably do.
So you are such an inspiration to me. And I wanted to just mention how Lance, your dad, told me one day, he looks at me and says that I'm not just resilient, I'm beyond resilient. Because he said just being resilient, it doesn't reflect the comeback. And it's beyond resilient because the comeback is much stronger and more transformative than just surviving and using my scars as strength. And I want to say the same thing to you. You are beyond resilient to me. And when you have to embrace fear like you did and still go through every day with some level of fear, things change every single day. Things can change at the drop of a hat, but you persevere and you bounce back and you always surface with a smile on your face and a positive spirit. Even when you're not feeling well, you could still feel your positive energy. And I just want to say, when people say resilient, I don't look at you as resilient. I look at you as being beyond resilient. And I want to ask you, if you, anything else that you want to say or want to reflect on before we close out, then I'm going to just give you the floor.
Sure. It's always nice hearing when people say, like, you can feel my positivity, and I always come out of situations with a smile on my face, and I'm glad that that's how people see me, even if I don't necessarily see myself like that anymore. But I do hope that you and the people who love me know that I work hard every day to get back to that person. So I think it's only up from here.
Me too. Matter of fact, I know it's only up from here. So, Mars, thank you for sharing your heart and trusting me and coming in front of this audience to share your journey, share your story, be vulnerable, and show the audience what it means to rise up, to go through that moment of your life where you're going through the fire, but you can carry joy even in that season, even in your hardest moments, and showing that when you could rise above your circumstances, the message that you send to your children and the message that sends to their children, it just becomes a roadmap. So I want to thank you so much for joining us on The Rise. And thank you for being my Phoenix, because you are. You know I'm obsessed with you, Marcy.
I know.
But in the next episode, we're going to explore a little bit more on what it means to rise above. And we're going to have a segment on the power of speaking to your younger self. So in the spirit of that, Marcy, if you could go back and say anything to your younger self, what would you say to her?
Life will get better.
Yeah. And then when you say that to her, you would be how old?
6.
We're gonna visit that because, sometimes speaking to our younger selves can do a lot of healing. We can all heal and stand on what we hope somebody would have said to us a long time ago when we needed to hear it. So on that note, it's such an honor to be joined for my very first guest co-host segment with my wonderful daughter, Marcy. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thank you for joining me on this stop of Shots Fired from our tour from Thailand's calm to Phoenix's fire. Marcy's story reminds us that no matter how heavy life gets, the soul always finds its wings again. And what Marcy's story teaches us is that resilience isn't just surviving. It's finding your own flame in the darkest moments. Whether it's cancer, personal trauma, or life's unexpected storms, the tools we build, the communities who we have around us that raise us, our football field, our faith, our mindset, those are the things that carry us through and allow us to rise. So remember, the journey to healing isn't a straight climb. Like Marcy said, you just don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next, but every step forward matters. So wherever you are on your journey, feel it, face it, trust that something greater is waiting for you on the other side. If this episode resonated with you, I want to hear from you. Let's keep the conversation going. Share it with someone who needs a reminder that they too can rise. Until next time, keep walking your path with courage, grace, and determination. I'm Tracy Lance, and this is The Rise from Ashes to Altitude. Thank you for always giving yourself the gift of exploring what it really means to survive, to heal, and to rise. Let's take this journey, keep traveling, and rising together.